Okay, let's talk about image segmentation. In the image recognition stage, the region of exposure is detected, and analysis of the pixel values in the image is performed, and the appropriate lookup table specific to the body region and chosen by the technologist is selected. Proper recognition of the exposed region is extremely important as it affects future processing applied to the image. It's important to detect the collimation edges in the image. Some segmentation algorithms enable users to blacken the regions outside the collimation in the final image. This tends to improve image contrast by removing the bright white background in the images of small body parts. Right. In other words, what happens is the image, before it gets transmitted to PACS, looks like this in A, where you have this white background that encompasses the entire field of the image, and then this is where they only made the exposure, right? So it changes how the image looks. So image segmentation finds these margins and turns all those white areas to black, right? So look at this lung. And this is a terrible picture. This is a picture from a book that I've put into a PowerPoint that you're now trying to see on my screen capture tool. But just appreciate the right lung. So it's just kind of black, you can't really see it. And here you have this white artifact over here that's outside the patient's body. It's not even part of the real diagnostic image. But as soon as you take all these white areas that are outside the image and you make them black, wow, now you can see this lung much better. So that's an example of image segmentation. Contrast enhancement is performed after image segmentation. As the name suggests, this processing amounts to choosing the best contrast characteristic curve to apply to the image data. The algorithms are quite flexible and they can be tuned to satisfy radiologist preference for the look of the image. In other words, if they want high contrast chest x-rays, a high contrast lookup table will be applied to the image, assuming image segmentation identified it as a chest exam. So again, you have this image here, and again the left lung is just kind of gray and hard to see. And again, this is a picture in a book, so it's not the best image. And then when you apply the high contrast, you can see the lung area much better. Now obviously, if I haven't said it enough, let me say it again. This is a picture from a book in a PowerPoint on a video screencast. If this was in our PAC system, this would really pop out at you. But in our PAC system, I couldn't show you the before image because they don't come to PACS like that. Remember, this is all post-processing done by the CR or DR unit before it gets sent to PACS. So, contrast enhancement. It enhances the contrast. Spatial frequency processing. The next type of image processing performed is spatial frequency processing. This is often called edge enhancement. These algorithms adjust the frequency response characteristics of the CR system, essentially implementing a high-frequency filter to enhance the content of edge information. In simpler terms, it makes the edges of structures in the image stand out so the viewer can more easily distinguish where one structure ends and the other starts. This is particularly useful in evaluation of joints where two bones articulate. Right? So you've got two bones, right? The elbow joint, where the elbow meets the upper arm. You want to see those edges. Edges are very important when looking at x-rays. Also, when you determine if a bone is fractured or not, you want to look at the edges. That's where a fracture begins. If it doesn't go all the way through from one edge to another, it's not a fracture. It's something else happening inside the bone. So, edge enhancement or spatial frequency processing is very important to how the diagnostic process takes place. Dynamic range control. This is an advanced algorithm developed by Fuji for selective compression or emphasis of low-density regions in an image. The result of this algorithm is improved contrast in poorly penetrated regions without the loss of high frequency and contrast emphasis. In a clinical evaluation of adult portable chest exams, DRC was found to be preferred by thoracic radiologists for improved visibility of mediastinal details and enhanced subdiaphragmatic regions. In other words, it makes the contrast really pop out in a high contrast chest x-ray, and the doctors like it. So that's why they use dynamic range control. Musica has nothing to do with the music industry. Multiscale image contrast amplification is a very flexible advanced image processing algorithm developed by AGFA. Musica is a local contrast enhancement technique that functions independently from DRC or contrast enhancement. The Musica method is carried out by decomposing the original image into a set of detailed images where each detailed image represents an image feature of a specific scale. Each detailed image is contrast equalized separately, and all the separate images are then recombined into a single image, and the result is diminished differences in contrast between features regardless of size, so that all image features become more visible. What on earth did I just say? Holy cow. What I said was, in an image, let me scroll back to an image, they would take out, from this image that you can't see anyway, they would take out the bones, take out all the ribs, subtract them out of the image, and do contrast enhancement just on the ribs. Then take out the lungs, the black areas, just the lungs, and do contrast on them. Then subtract out the heart, this white blobby area here, and do contrast enhancement on just that. Now once you've contrast enhanced each individual structure inside that image, then dump it all back together, put them on top of each other, so you basically get a layered stack of images, all of which has been contrast enhanced. And then instead of getting, right, when you just do basic contrast enhancement, it averages the whole image. When you do dynamic range control, it averages the high contrast areas. When you do Musica, everything, right? It does a local contrast enhancement technique that functions independently of those. It decomposes the original image to a set of detailed images, basically each structure, that's the specific scale. And then each detailed image is contrast equalized separately. And then they're recombined into a single image. So each piece gets its own contrast enhancement. And that's what Musica is. So, oh my gosh, we've got another 4 or 5 slides to go. We're going to have to make this a 3-parter. Thank you for watching.